France threatens journalists with jail time for exposing use of French arms in Yemen.
Here's a summary of the article.
France has threatened 3 French journalists with potential jail time for using secret documents to reveal the country's involvement in the Yemen civil war. In a series of reports published in April, investigative journalists from Disclose and Radio France revealed the number of French arms sold to Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. The documents, authored by France's Directorate of Military Intelligence, showed that senior French officials had lied about the role of French weapons in the Yemen war. The 3 journalists refused to reveal their sources after being questioned by the DSGI on the origin of the document, their work and posts on Facebook and Twitter. The journalists used the hearing to defend press freedom and how it was in the public interest to publish details from the leaked DSGI document. The law does not cover national security, and the journalists could be sentenced under a 2009 French law that considers as an offence the handling of a classified document without clearance or proper authorization. Paul Copin, the head of Reporters Without Borders legal unit, criticized the DSGI for attempting to prosecute the French journalists.
This post received a score of 6,164, with an upvote ratio of 97%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Well, that's one way to promote a story about the use of French arms in Yemen.
Actually, it's deflecting pretty well. Everyone is talking about the journalists and their free speech rights, and nobody is talking about the children being blown up by French bombs.
Mayor, this is the first time I'm hearing about French bombs being used in Yemen, so I'd say this is more of a Streisand effect than a good deflection.
Dude, it's a stain on our country of human rights rhetoric. Not a single kid gets blown up in some areas without us selling the killers some nasty bombs or mines or radars and whatever helps kill people. A national shame that we are still to this day selling to the Saudis.
For a resource on how to contest and/or challenge militarism, look for, purchase, share, talk about the fairly short, 3-essayed book Spectacle, Reality, Resistance, Confronting a Culture of Militarism by David G. Mr. G is also the author of Holding Faith, Creating Peace in a Violent World.
Thanks for that, bookmarking for later smiley face. So much for protecting whistleblowers after the NSA scandal in Europe. I'm still surprised the journalist who outed Valerie Plame as a CIA agent was not subject to a similar threat. She was outed because her husband denounced, with proof, the false proofs that Saddam Hussein had WMD to trigger the invasion of Iraq. Her outing is treason, committed by a White House employee to push a false narrative. Surely, the journalist can be considered accomplices in this case.
It was Dick Cheney's chief of staff. What skin did Dick Cheney have in Iraq again?
Halliburton.
Boom. Imagine if Hillary had done that.
Republicans imagine that kind of shit all the time. They just also think that it's real.
France should not be selling weapons to the fucking Saudis to begin with. But guess money speaks louder than ethics.
Money speaks louder than ethics for every single nation, GOVT out there. Most people just fall for the rhetoric.
I'm not sure. If most people are anything like me, we know our governments are arms-dealing scumbags and yet are indifferent, helpless enough that such knowledge doesn't really help the situation. Being from the UK, I know our government profits off the misery of vast areas of the world.
Yeah, but that's just British tradition.
Further proof even governments that try to say how great they are full of shit.
Not only is there no debate in EU countries about the large weapon export to Saudi Arabia, but now they are even threatening journalists exposing this BS? Pathetic. We need 10 more journalists exposing them for everyone they jail.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.